What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show's favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. We have the NBA play-in and playoffs starting now. And that's what we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment, tell anyone about the show. I'm trying to get the ratings up a little bit, just a little bit. But the NBA play-in, we're going to keep this short, right? We got 4 teams in the East and the West that are fit to play. Magic versus 76ers, Hornets versus Heat, those are in the East. Suns versus Trailblazers, Clippers versus Warriors, that's in the West. And y'all know how the play-in format goes. 7 through 8 plays first. Then the loser of that round plays the winner of 9 and 10. So we got a couple things to talk about. Because after that, playoffs start. Now, for the play-in winners, I'm going to just cut right to the nitty-gritty. Between the Sun and the Trailblazers, I would expect the Sun to win if everybody were healthy, right? But I think there's a little bit of injuries going on. So because of that, I am leaning the Trailblazers to win. Again, it is due to injuries. Denny Avita's been playing well. They have some interesting pieces. I believe more so in Devin Booker and Dylan Brooks and all of them. But again, because of injury, I lean Trailblazers. Which then I'm looking at the Clippers beating the Warriors and the Sun. Because again, the Warriors are also injured. And when I'm looking at the matchups, I don't know if D-Book and Dylan Brooks are going to outduel Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has had an MVP-esque season thus far. So again, out of the West, I do expect the Blazers and the Clippers to make those 7th and 8th seeds in the West. Can the Sun and Warriors win? Sure. But again, because of injuries, which is weird because, again, Kawhi Leonard has not been injured for the large part of this season. Because of that, I'm leaning Blazers and Clippers. On the East, though, I do have the Magic beating the 76ers, right? They should win their first matchup. They are the healthier team. Joel Embiid is out with the appendectomy, and I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. Then after that, we do have the Hornet versus the Heat, which the Hornets have been playing a phenomenal season thus far. They've been one of the better teams towards the end of the season. But I do expect the Miami Heat should win this matchup versus the Hornets and the 76ers because of experience and healthiness. Again, the 76ers do not have Joel Embiid. That is a big blow to them. As a result, I'm leaning Magic, then Heat, making the 7th and 8th seed. So as a result, ladies and gentlemen, we should see in the Eastern Conference, the Pistons versus the Heat, the Celtics versus the Magic, the Knicks versus the Hawks, and the Cavs versus the Raptors. Now, for the Western side, we should see Thunder versus Clippers, Spurs versus Trailblazers, Nuggets versus Wolves, Lakers versus Rockets. On the East, I'm expecting the top 4 teams to win. Pistons, Celtics, Knicks, and Cavs. Just keeping it simple, right? You could see the Heat maybe surprise people and beat the Pistons. But I think because Cade coming back and him also being gone due to that collapsed lung, that gave the Pistons some time to figure out who should be stepping up. Because they didn't have Jalen Duren either. So they had a couple of good games where they could actually weather some storms, if you will. So I think the Heat will make things a little interesting. But the Pistons' defense and depth, combined with a player like Cade coming back and they still have Jalen Duren, I think it's fair to say the Pistons should win. Celtics versus Magic. In all due respect, a couple seasons ago, I said that this could be a rivalry that we could see form up. And I could very well see the Celtics, again, winning this round. However, I told my cousin and a couple other people before the season started, there's a world where the Magic end up getting to the finals. I don't know if they get to the finals, but could they surprise everybody by beating the Celtics? They do match up well with the Celtics when healthy. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I expect the Celtics still giving the Magic a little bit of shot at winning. Because again, Paolo Banchero, quality player. Franz Wagner, quality player. Desmond Bain, quality player. Jalen Suggs, quality defender. Like, they have good pieces on their team. It just so happens that the Celtics have been playing pretty phenomenal. And keep in mind, that was without Jason Tatum. They were the number 2, number 3 seed. Now they got JT back. That's another body who can give you quality production. I'm just saying, I'm expecting Celtics. Knicks versus Hawks. This one's the most controversial round for me in the East because, again, while I expect the Knicks to win, partly because this is probably their final season at really being viewed as a contender for me, the Hawks are pretty spectacular. They have some good athleticism, some good talent from a youth perspective. They have some good vets as well, too. They could, in fact, beat this Knicks team. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I would not be overly surprised. I just lean Knicks because of their maturity as a basketball team, player-wise, individual. You have players who are older, more established. Their cohesion should be better. So as a result, I lean Knicks. I can see the Hawks winning. And then the Cavs versus Raptors. I don't think the Raptors have enough. I love Scotty Barnes. I love B.I. R.J. Barrett, he's been hooping well this year. The Cavs do have a better constructed roster to date. But again, ladies and gentlemen, could they be stopped? I do see the Raptors being a little bit competitive. Again, I'm expecting the Cavs to win for sure. Donovan Mitchell, if you lose in the first round, you got to have some question marks about yourself. So again, I expect the Cavs to win. The Raptors should give a good battle. So again, to recap the East, I expect the Pistons, the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Cavs all to advance. Now let's talk about the West. Thunder versus Clippers, I'm leaning Thunder. I think the Clippers don't have enough depth-wise, and the Thunder have been hooping this entire season. Kawhi is on the Clippers, yes. SGA is on the Thunder. But hear me out, too, though. We can say that Kawhi and SGA maybe cancel each other out. What if J-Dub is healthy and coming back? What if Chet's doing his thing? I think the depth of the Thunder is what's going to take them over the top in regards to the Clippers. And to be quite frankly honest with you, any team in the playoff, in the play-in, any team in the play-in, maybe the Warriors if they were healthy, but they're not. They lost Jimmy, right? So again, I'm not expecting them to win, but hey, we'll see what happens. But the Thunder, I do expect to win. Spurs versus Blazers. This is the first round matchup that I think the Spurs would really love because this helps get them their experience, right? I expect the Spurs to beat the brakes off the Blazers. Like, I would expect a sweep. Like, if the Spurs can't sweep the Blazers, we have an issue. Because Wemby, especially if everybody healthy, like Victor Wembanyama, easily the best player on the floor. Next best player could be De'Aaron Fox. Like, I get it. Denny Avito's been having a good season thus far. There's no argument that Stephon Castle could be the same caliber player as him. When we're talking about offense and defensive ability, Denny Avito is not the defender that Stephon Castle is. We've seen Stephon Castle get a 40-point triple-double. Like the man is special, okay? They have Area 51, meaning Victor and Stephon Castle. So, again, I'm expecting the Spurs to win. Also, the management and coaching is a little bit better for the Spurs and the Blazers. Yeah, I lean Spurs. This one should be easy peasy. And again, if it's not a sweep, I'm going to be upset. And I'm not even talking about a gentleman's sweep, too. I'm talking about a full-fledged 4-0 sweep, a skunk, goose egg for the Blazers. So if that don't happen, I'd be surprised. The Nuggets versus the T-Wolves. This one's going to be interesting. I do expect the Nuggets to get some get back and win and advance in this playoff round. Partly because the Wolves have been dealing with injuries too. Jaden McDaniels has been injured. Ant's been injured. And we already know how Jokic be treating Rudy Gobert. Now, if Julius Randle pops off, all right, that'll be a little interesting. But the Nuggets do seem to be healthy. So as long as health intact, I'm leaning Nuggets. Can the Wolves win? Well, yes, because again, if Anthony Edwards ends up being the best player on the floor like he was in the playoffs last year, okay, cool. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got to see a redemption game series by these Nuggets. So again, I expect the Nuggets to win. My Lakers going up against the Rockets. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna say this right now. Even though we're the 4th seed, this is about to be belt to tail. Rockets about to beat the brakes off of us. And if they don't, I'm of the notion where I should say, y'all got to blow that up, Rockets. Like, y'all got to make some serious trades at that point. Y'all should be able to beat us because we don't have Luka, we don't have Austin Reeves, and those have been the two of the three of our big players this season. So if if we win against the Rockets and we only have LeBron James, that speaks volumes towards Kevin Durant. And that speaks volumes towards Ime Udoka. And that speaks volumes towards this Rockets roster. So again, we should expect the Rockets to beat the brakes off my Lakers. Because we're injured. We're hampered. And the Rockets are fairly healthy. They have players like Amen Thompson, who's all-star caliber. Alperen Sengun made it to the All-Star. Reed Shepherd has been playing well. Like, they have a good amount of talent across the way. Even Jabari has been hooping this year. And, of course, they have Kevin Durant. So if you can't get out the first round, Rockets, I'm going to be very disappointed. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, my Western predictions: Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, and Rockets. My Lakers are the only top team that loses in their matchup. Now, some series to watch. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I've talked about all of them, so we're just going to focus on this real quick. Celtics versus Magic. Because, again, I talked about it. The ceiling of those Magic players, we're going to see if that Desmond Bane trade was worth it. You don't necessarily have to win the series. You have to make it competitive, though. That means taking it at least 6 games, possibly 7. I'll stomach one, maybe. Yeah, only one blowout for sure. But again, this series has got to be entertaining, and it's got to go, not the distance, but it's got to be entertaining, to say the least. Because, again, we're talking about the Magic, who have made some interesting moves over the offseason. And, again, the Celtics look like championship contenders, so this is a good measuring stick for the Magic. But, again, they also match up well, so it should be entertaining. Now, the Knicks versus Hawks, again, I said this. The Hawks are an up-and-coming team, ladies and gentlemen. Ever since they traded Trae Young away, which you can have a gripe about that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But this Knicks team better be worried about this Hawks team for sure. Because, again, like I said, the Hawks, they have the talent to realistically beat anybody that I've talked about. East or West, they have the talent to do that. Whether they do that, that could be because of youth and experience, lack of cohesion, whatever the case may be. But they at least have the talent to knock off any team. And beating a team like the Knicks would set the world on notice. They have arrived. Now, I think next season is really when they're going to take off and soar. But this season, they may surprise us because they got some teams. They got some quality players. Jalen Johnson's been hooping this season. Dyson Daniels continues to be one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. Like, they have a good amount of talent, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm looking forward to seeing this Hawks team. Thunder versus Clippers. I'm not going to lie. These two teams have been intertwined over the last couple of years. Remember, that Paul George trade allowed for the Thunder to partially do what they've been doing. But I also just want to see SGA versus Kawhi Leonard, who has the bigger impact, right? Hopefully J-Dub is healthy. I want to see how J-Dub does against a Kawhi Leonard who has been playing well this entire season. I'm expecting Thunder to win, but can the Clippers show us something? Because if not, we did hear talks about the Warriors trying to acquire Kawhi Leonard before the trade deadline. So it does seem like there's a world where Kawhi Leonard could end up leaving the Clippers fairly soon. So could this be the last year that we see Kawhi Leonard? I don't know. Maybe he requests a trade. Maybe he leaves elsewhere. We got to wait and see. But the Thunder versus Clippers. Clippers have been playing okay. And I would love to see how impactful Kawhi is in comparison to SGA. And a head-to-head matchup team-wise, that may get the job done. And again, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the Nuggets versus the Wolves. We got a history lesson here. Gobert versus Jokic. Ant-Man versus Jamal Murray. Again, we saw Ant-Man get the best of Jamal Murray. And Anthony Edwards is better than Jamal Murray, to be clear. That's not even up for discussion. But Jamal Murray was out of character when they went up against the Wolves. Like, the Wolves were locking him down. He was playing really inconsistent. So now Will the same thing happen? I can't wait to see this. And then also, can Jokic continue to dominate Gobert? Or will Gobert have some fight back? He usually does fight back a little bit, to be clear. But will it be the same old, or will Gobert surprise us and show us something? Very curious to watch that. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So again, the play-in starts today. And then the playoffs start Saturday. So I'm curious who you all are favoring in the play-in. And then once we get past that, who do you have for the playoffs? I would love to hear y'all thoughts. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you are all having a good one. Take care.